Welcome to another episode of Blessings Astrology. This time it's going to be something quite familiar to most people. So, this is the sun, identity, and the sun. Sun you can probably see. So, it's really bright out. Not my kind of sun. It's not my kind of sun because I have, Sun Pluto thing. So I like kind of more like in the dark kind of thing. But the sun is basically anything that gives you energy. Right? There's construction going on here. I don't know if you could hear it. But anyways, the sun is anything that gives you energy, gives you vitality, gives you a sense of me. So even for me, that's why I hesitate towards looking at the camera. And that's part of the whole being Plutonian thing. Also kind of being like, half introverted kind of thing. But the point is, like when you have the sun in your chart, and it's like it's in one of the signs that is like, I guess you could say positive signs. Yeah, I did a positive signs like air. They call this air and air and fire. Sorry, brain's not in it today. So naturally, it's in Leo, right? So any of the fire signs usually feels more alive. Any more of the active signs or more moving sort of signs, it's a little bit more like you get your energy that way. I had this thought today. It came to me, and it was if the sun were, instead of producing fire or heat or light or some kind of light, but it's a little darker, it's cold, then that's where we would do that. Maybe that's where we would get the energy from. Because directly, if you're talking about the sun itself, getting direct energy from the sun, that's where it's from. So anything gives you vitality, anything that gets you up in the morning that says, hey, I want to look at this, I want to look at life, I want to live, I want to do this, that's the sun. Anything that you feel inside of you that's very like, you feel energized, this kind of thing. So, sun through the signs, you already know this, many of you could call it star signs, right? So the sun in Aries, it's in exaltation. So it works well in Aries because it has a burst of energy, burst of fire. It's like very curious, it likes to do things. Very people in sun and fire, sun in Aries tend to go. They like to get out their hands on pretty much almost anything and everything. They're very much also like for sure, a lot of initiative comes in, but because of that burst of energy, there's that thing that goes. It dies down. It doesn't. The sun is also about what you work on because it's what gives you energy. So it's what you kind of focus your energy on. Again, that's it's life, right? So that's what Aries is. And then we go into Taurus. Sun in Taurus is more like we're just kind of very slow. It likes to have that energy of the sun that's in things. The sun isn't just the sun itself. The energy of the sun actually is in like the leaves, for example, on the trees. In the food we eat, in the things we touch, the people we talk to. It's in everywhere. So there's a bug that just came in. Okay, they're very curious when they get in. So anyways, so the sun in Taurus is very much like this. Things that are pleasurable, they give them energy, or things that they taste a bit of that sun as well, which is in the food they eat, the things they buy, probably. The sun came out when Big Bang exploded, whether our sun was born by our own solar system. It also gave energy to everything else. So that includes the things that we have today. It just it's all sun energy, really, if you think about it. It's universal cosmic energy. That's what it is. It's consciousness manifesting itself into real life. But it's also the sun in what we have. Like it's there. So things that are pleasurable, things that are like money, things that give you a sense of pleasure, like music itself. That's part of that energy as well. Taurus people love music. Taurus loves like pleasure, sensuality, those kind of things. Why is there a yellow stuff over there? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna fix that later. I don't know where that came from. But let's go out a bit here. So Sun in Taurus is like that. And Sun in Gemini. I'm gonna grab the key. Sun in Gemini. They work with anything communication. Anything that is communication. Anything that deals with knowledge, talking, communication, short travels, kind of like going from place to place. Oh, okay, those are leaves. I don't know where they came from. Okay. So anyways, so the apple tree here is growing. Great, awesome. So Sun in Gemini. That's that. Also getting along with friends, or finding friends, or getting to know friends, meeting people. That's also Gemini, because it kind of builds on that curiosity, the communication thing. It's very Mercurian. People who have Sun conjunct Mercury kind of are very similar to this. They're very curious about things. They're very jovial or like youthful about things. They're very curious about life itself. There's a truck. So, anyways, and then we go with Sun to Cancer. Sun in Cancer loves water, but also warmth. So it's still the summer, right? It's Cancer people are born in the summer around this time, July. It's July. And people, they love security, they love family, because it is sort of a family vibe. It's that energy of the Sun to people, to gathering. Similar to Gemini, it starts with people. It's now, first came things and then biological things. So first there were trees, and then came multicellular organisms or cells. Right? So those are kind of the process of relating this to evolution. So Cancer people love that stuff. They love feeling at home, they love feeling secure. Also kind of carries on from the Gemini sort of people thing, relationship with material things as well. So Cancer loves things, loves traditional things, enjoys things that are, like hoarding probably is one of the dark side of Cancer. And so going back to all this stuff, I wanted to go back to why it's important to think of what is the blessing of the Sun? Well, isn't it already a blessing? Well, technically, yes. But some people who are, let's say, further up or further down in the zodiac sign, the wheel, what happens is, or people who are more like, they don't want to be, in touch with they consider the enemy, like the ego, the enemy. Because the Sun is also ego. It's what you identify with, right? Because of vitality. Sun there could be a healthy ego when you work with your human self. There could be that potential for, just accepting the fact that what you work with is what you have. So there's someone walking past here. I don't want to put her on camera. There are some laws in Canada where you're not allowed to take pictures of people, or because it's a very Canadian thing. Apparently, it's also a Swiss thing. Anyways, so Sun has that. You can't just look at it as if it's like, oh, it's ego, because identification leads to suffering, because it's like identification, all that stuff. Yeah. So going to Sun in Cancer, then Sun in Leo, perfect placement, because that's where it is. It's in what you call this, in dignity. It's at home. And Leo people love to shine. People Sun in Leo love to be performers, love to be the center of attention. Kind of a little bit opposite, sort of like Cancer too, but Cancer is like quiet about it. And love to be the center of attention, love to kind of pride gets in the way too, because it's like there's a little bit too much energy there. There's too much sun. There's too much like so much heat, and it's just like, it's like it's either me or whatever. Right, so that's like a dark side of Leo, where it's like all about pride. Pride is one of those like the 7 deadly sins, right? So it's getting loud here. I'm gonna go inside. This is my sun in Libra, sort of Cancer sort of thing. The sun is really bright today. It's the perfect time to talk about the sun. And yeah, we're gonna go back inside. So, anyways, that's really, really, really loud. So, anyways, sun. Yeah, we're gonna have the sun right here. So, sun in sun in Virgo. Sun in Virgo love to get that sun energy from doing things, from work, from routines, from things that give them a sort of sense of purpose and meaning towards accomplishing to little things as a task, the service they give. They love servitude, they love altruism, they love helping people. Kind of very much similar to Pisces, except Pisces is more like on the grand scale of things. So anyways, Sun in Virgo people also love to be healthy. They love things that are health. They're very health. Oh, I guess you can say they want to be health aware. It's more like a want thing, not necessarily that they can be self-aware or the health aware. But yeah, love to make sure that things are clean, things are organized, because that's where the sun, the energy comes from the sun. So after the transition, carrying over the sun's energy to things and home and sun itself, it goes and transitions into Virgo, which is towards people again, kind of like a Mercury thing, or kind of like a Gemini thing as well, but more like why you're doing it. It understands. They want to understand why it is. There's this sort of sense of like purity, right? Because it's Virgo, it's a Virgin, so they want to be. They get transitioned to the point where it's like they want to transition into their relationship with people. So it's not so much getting things, more like the giving things, because now they're already gone. A lot of things. If you look at the fifth house is the love we give. Because so love we give transitions over to that. So that's where the positive thing about being, that's the blessing of having a healthy ego is the love you can give. You start to become more like the sun, exactly, like expansive. It's out there. It's bright. You can see the sun all the way to Makemake, past Pluto. The sun is still visible because of that light energy. Right? So it kind of goes into, when the sun is in Virgo, it has that same energy. Like it wants to give, but sometimes it forgets itself and forgets that the work it does is not the only answer. It's not the only way to serve society, to serve people, not just only work. Right? Sun in Libra is similar to Gemini, where it's all about relationships. In fact, it's all about relationships. It's so like Taurus, about pleasure, but more about the harmony itself of balance of things. People like myself, we have Sun in Libra. We love, we tend to be extroverted. And me, I'm kind of like middle. I'm more introverted now after the pandemic. So Sun in Libra people love to have relationships, love to be love to be in love, love to be in love. It's almost like love itself is the answer to everything. It's expanded. That Gemini thing of relationship and Cancer. It's like expanded inside, and people get the Libras get that energy from. It's like I love people. I love love. I love relationships. And sometimes to the detriment of themselves, that they identify with so much of like, I usually they become so, or there's that indecisiveness,